common message update from CEO or other member can play a role in how people interact of their culture landscape of your organization. What it stands for is everyone is values and every mission is what master. Your company culture is the sum of part. A good communication can take it into account. And the fourth idea is get people engaged. Engage mean number of things asked through the question
Alo,
of on the member comment and important news update on the company. Good
alo
international
12345.
communication creates a space for these small yet meaningful action. Good
Alo
employee can feel
12345.
their voice matter and likely to go above beyond when out when the company need them. And the fifth is international communication. Keep people stay calm and in time uh, to create a setting for the difficult to have conversation, and you will earn the respect for the people being transparent and delicate when they will when talking about bad news, creating the atmosphere openness, caring that people have sustain your organization to tough time. The sixth is to create another dimension to your workplace.
Alo
It's promote
12345.
learning and speaking event, sharing customer feedback and media converse.
Hey everyone,
Audio
welcome to our
and
presentation today.
provide opportunity for people to get most involved if they want to. By empowered members form multiple teams to promote their event and program or share their news. You give people the information they need to add another fulfill dimension to their work. And lastly, international communication create feedback, debate, and discussions. Communication strategy needs to create room for feedback, pushback, and public debate in issue and idea. International communication can be create a channel for the top discussion. Yes, this is the end of my presentation. So it's moved to the Wang.
Okay, so the first we come to the important external communications. So the question is, what is external in communications? For research, external communications is the way a business communicate with outside individuals and organizations, such as its shareholders, suppliers, and customers. Many businesses have brands like guys. These documents are designed to help employees create branded content that fits the brand, the brand tones and style, so customer can recognize the content as speaking in the brand voice. Adopting and using the brand's voice consistently help people understand the business better, which in turn increase brand awareness, the deliverable, and sign up the community and the build trust. Come to the first important of the internal communications. Important of the good external communication have promote the brand, increase the recognitions, the share of the public perceptions of the brand, and drive more sales. Secondly, good external communications enable a business to reach the customer in a new market, will lead to an increased sales, and vice versa. It can go wrong if business put out of the wrong message at the wrong time. A business need to be aware of who is trying to communicate to it and ensure that the message to be delivered in the right way. That is the meanings and the the role of the internal communication in a business. Next is uh, next is the presentations of attempt. Please listening. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. I am Bùi Đức Xuân, and this is my turn to presentation about language barrier. As we all know, that language have many barrier in communication, but there's three, there's many barrier that we need to face. But first, my barrier is different in language. Different in language is the most obvious barrier to communicate, as two people speaking two different languages cannot communicate with each other. For example, as an American goes to the China, the person do not understand Chinese, most people in China do not understand English. So when there's a person in speak communication is wordless, as the other Chinese person doesn't understand it. There is a solution to that, fortunately, but it depends on the situation you are in. If you are in a business meeting with your client, you could hire a translator. Or if before that, if you had the advantage to learn the language yourself, it would prove to be more appropriate. The second solution is use body language or gesture that is appropriate in their culture to convey your message. But do remind that keep your message in a simple way, do not complicate the message, and use the body language and gesture that is appropriate to their culture. The third solution is maybe work in unconventional way, because some foreigner they could learn a language but they do not speak the language well, so you could draw or write the message down on a piece of paper if you could. And that is my presentation about the language barrier. Now we move to the lack of knowledge, understanding culture by Koi.
The next communication barrier is the difference in culture. As you know, we are from Vietnam, so there are many different from the people in like USA, Australia, or India. And we have the solutions. We can just use that as we can find out the difference in other culture to avoid convenient the wrong information or attitude. If you cannot learn it before, you can try to be polite, be nice, and hospitable. For example, you are requested to go for a drink with your friend or the partner, but you unable to go for it, just like you allergy or you're just too tired. So you can say no in nice way, or you can call them. So we can say that sorry, I can go, and we can make a field trip to create the common understanding and make a bonding between the co-worker to make them understand about each other culture. And the last solution is you should look up for the culture online so that you can avoid doing the wrong thing, like the presentation of one. You remember the sign okay is meaning different in different culture. So this is the end of our presentation. Thanks for listening. Do you have any question?
Okay. Thank you very much for your presentation. So you are a first group in our class to present the topic.
Yes.
Okay, you in your PowerPoint you can use very funny movies like you have this one. Okay, look very funny. Okay, it's very good. Uh, because I give you one question. I have one question for your group, and after I give you questions, so if you have answer already, you can give me your answer. If you need time to think, you need to discuss, I'll give you time to discuss. Okay. So my question is, between the internal communications and the external communication, so which one do you think is more important, and why?
Yes. Let us have some time.
Okay, I give you time for you to discuss. Just tell me your idea. This is not right. This is not wrong. Just tell me your idea between like the internal communications and external communication when we are in business. Which one is important to you and why? That's it. I give you 2 minutes to discuss.
Uh, Let me answer the questions. So I think both is equal important because when I looking for a job in a part time and the my lecturer say that if the companies want to be strong, so the most important factors is the employees. So it means we have to have a good internal communications to improve and to have to produce products a good to to make a good product to outside. So it's if just like example, if you and your partner are not very like each other, so yeah, you cannot uh, work with them, and then if there is a deadline is come out and the last and the deadline is late and you cannot finish it, so it will affect very much to the results of the company, and it can reduce the um, I don't know what is okay.
Okay.
um,
Okay.
Okay, so for the external communications is important too.
Ừ.
Like we know very much, many one say in Vietnamese that uh, con ông cháu cha. I don't know what's in Vietnam is, but we only know that so that the persons that have a large relationship outside can have the company very much,
Mm,
uh, and it's really easy to uh, so they but explode their brand to the
okay.
yeah to
Be-
the citizens. So it's
because
easy to people to can reach to their brand.
okay.
Thank you.
COCC.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much. I just want to ask you that question because I want you to pay attention to the internal and external. And you can see here I can write to you the internal and external communication, they play different role in business. So no one is important than the other one. The internal they play this role, but the external they play the other role. So no one is important than the other one because they are all important. Thank you very much. Okay, Congratulations for the group number 4. You just finished your presentation. Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you, teacher.
Thank you,
Thank
teacher.
you.
Yeah.
Congratulations. So now, which group will be continued?
Can group 5 continue with the presentation?
Which one?
Group number 5.
Group number 5.
Yes.
Gia Khang,
Yeah. That's me.
Thế Phong, Thành Quang. Okay.
Yeah. Let me show my screen.
Share your screen. So if you are ready, you can share your screen and continue. Yes. Okay.
Okay. Should we go on with our presentation now?
Okay. Yes, please.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. This is our group's presentation on the fundamentals of business communication. My name is Zakang, the leader of the group, and this presentation will be given by me, Thế Phong, and Thành Quang. All names you can see right in the corner of the screen. So, this is the outline. We will cover 3 topics today. Number 1, communication in general, its definition and how it is different to business communication. Number 2 is internal and external communication and why they are both valued by organizations. And finally, we will discuss about some communication barriers, explaining what they are and how we can overcome such barriers. The first part will also be presented by me, so here we go. According to Wikipedia, communication is derived from a Latin word, and it is the act of developing meaning among entities or groups through the use of sufficiently mutually understood signs, symbols, and semiotic conventions. But given that it's a long, convoluted explanation, we elected to ignore it and found a better and simpler definition. Communication is defined as the process of understanding and sharing meaning. Pearson and Nelson, 2000. That's it. Communication comes in many forms, such as verbal, which is when you speak or even when your animal makes a sound. Non-verbal, like gestures and facial expressions. Communication can also be written like letters and emails, or be visual, which is the case for infographics or even animation. So, in a nutshell, communication can be understood as the exchange of information, ideas, news, and views among the related parties. For example, we have a parent telling the children that an relative from overseas is coming over. On the other hand, business communication is related to, well, business. It is the process of establishing a common understanding between or among people within a business environment. What does effective business communication bring? Well, it includes, but is not limited to, receiver understanding, receiver response, favorable relationships, and organizational goodwill. In our research, we discovered several key differences between business communication and communication in general. Well, you can take a screenshot of the slide since I won't go through all of them to save time. But essentially, business communication is a narrow, feedback heavy form of communication that deals with business related information. It tends to be direct, practical, and attempts to facilitate progress to achieve whatever goal in mind. For the business, that is. And that concludes my part in this presentation. Please welcome Thế Phong for the next section.
Okay. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Thế Phong and I'm in Team 5. Today I will talk about internal and external communication and They important in business and in every companies. So internal and external communication have different function and purposes. So internal communication is used to exchange information between members of the organization, and it's mainly aimed to guide, inform, and motivate employees. And about external communication, they used to exchange information with customers and the outside world, and it mainly aimed to develop a good image to the public. And here are some forms of internal and external communication. So internal communication is that you have to exchange with colleagues in the same company every day and help increase your ability to communicate and understand each other while exchanging work. An internal communication plan set out and promotes the objectives of the business or a project. It devises plans to achieve these goals, helps train employees and leads and motivates them to be their best at their work. And internal communication is divided into three types. In vertical communication, messages flow upward and downward along the path refer to as the chain of command. As you see in the picture on the right of the page, you can see that manager will give work to supervisor A, B, and C, and then those supervisors exchange information to lower level employees. Then we have horizontal message. Flow occurs between workers or units of comparable status who need to share data or coordinate efforts. We can see that supervisor can exchange the work, the information to supervisor B or C, and though and same at the lower level employees. And finally, in network communication, information flows freely among those who have a link that goes beyond the participate's role or unit within the organization. We move on to learn about external communication, and here are some definitions about external communication. It flows between a business organization and the entities with which it interacts. Companies have many external contacts such as customers, suppliers, competitors, the media, governmental agencies, and the general public. And these contacts may be domestic or international. The information that flows between a business and its external receivers can be either written. For example, it can be used letters, reports, orders, invoices, and web pages, or by oral with telephone calls and radio or television advertisements. And finally, in conclusion, when we want an organization to be successful in every way, the employees must first be successful in communicating and to achieve the highest efficiency in work. Members of the company must regularly communicate with each other, simultaneously combine flexibly and effectively between internal and external exchange. Then we will come to Tan Quang's presentation.
Hello, my name is Tan Quang. I will talk about communication barrier. Everyone can speak equally, but the difference between a good speaker and a bad speaker is depending on how they can overcome communication barrier. First of all, let's talk about the most basic thing. The language is the language of communication. We can divide it into two different type of communication language. Different language and the same language, but different reason. According to the statistic I am giving, English is the most popular language in the world. Second is Mandarin, which is a higher, which is the language we often encountered in some countries such as China, Japan, and Taiwan. Vietnamese is not popular language, but foreigner and the difficulty of Vietnamese is highly appreciated. It will be rare for any foreigner to be able to learn and speak English fluently. According to this two picture, you can see that just combining the letter M and A and one side has many different meaning. Many foreigners have fallen for learning Vietnamese because it is too difficult to remember and understand all the meaning of the word in Vietnamese. And let's be honest, even Vietnamese people are not sure they can understand them all Vietnamese words. To overcome the language barrier, the first thing is to learn another language and mainly English. Many of you will feel that learning another language is too complicated and time consuming. Looking at these two pictures, Korean learners are honest that they can learn mainly Korean language because of their love of Korean culture. They love K-pop and K-drama. From my point of view, learning a foreign language will not be difficult if you have a passion for something when you already know language of that country. Um, apart of apart from the problem of language different, the same language but different reason is also a big barrier for communication. This is a picture comparing a small part of the use of words between two regions of the north and the south in Vietnam. Although they are in the same, although they are is the same Vietnamese language, the language is clearly different. And because the use of different words will bring the different in voice. In fact, people who listen in the northern accent will find it difficult to hear with a slight emphasis and heavy word sound. However, the northern people will hear southern people speaking with a high tone and also have the same difficulty hearing. To overcome this barrier, we need to learn more about the culture of each region to better understand how people of each place live and communicate. When it comes to this issue, we have a good idiom that when in Rome do as the Romans do. This idiom indicates that you have to learn the culture of a place to be able to communicate it with the people up there. Communication will also have difficulty understanding the speaker meaning, which include denotative and connotative meaning. According to the picture, these three words are referred to people outdated, but each word refer to three different types of people. And you think it would be horrible if we use the wrong words to the wrong person with whom we were communicating. If they were difficult, then it would be definitely be the last time you could talk to them. Obviously, no one want to be called juvenile when they live a honest life. The stem from the richness of language, where a word in many different contexts will have the different meaning, similar to the previous picture. This picture is about a crowd, and imagine that you are speaking in front of a crowd and using such a wrong word will cause a consequence. And what will happen when it is a job application, a big contract signing or something? Such a little lack of knowledge of words can push you on the path of unemployment, failure in your career. And to overcome this, we need to learn little by little, contact many culture and country to be able to know many good words. In short, our communication barrier are just your lack of knowledge about language and different culture at home and abroad. To overcome, I think you must be aware of learning from the very beginning and study hard, travel and interact. And this is the end of our group presentation. If everyone have any suggestion they would like to hear, so we can fix and learn more. Our
Okay.
team thanks everyone. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much for group number five. Okay, so in your presentation, I give you only one question because I don't have much time. In your presentation, you just mentioned about like one of the barriers in like communication. You say like sometimes people use the idiom, and you mentioned about the different like different languages. Like in Vietnamese, people from the north, people from the south, people from the central, people now they use different words. For example, this one, for example. So, have you ever been to any situation like this before when you communicate with someone? Can you share with me when people say something that you don't understand? What should you do? When people they use their own languages, even we are Vietnamese people, but when they use their own languages, like after you. Hello.
Can we have a few minutes to discuss?
It's very easy. Have you ever been to this situation? If you have friends from Quảng Nam, if you have friends from Huế, if you have friends from the other place that they say something that you don't understand, what should you do? That's very easy.
Well, I
I
had
can
a
answer.
situation when I was younger.
Okay.
I was buying some bánh mì, and
Huh.
I asked, it's more on a hamburger, not bánh mì. I
Yeah.
asked for eggs and beef,
Mm.
which is bò trứng. But the
Yes.
lady at the counter said something like, bò trứng, bò trứng. I went, no, I didn't mean three eggs. Uh,
À,
s-
ba
uh,
trứng. Ba trứng.
so we kind of had an argument way over there. But looking
Okay.
back, I could have used a body language and point at whatever I wanted you to have, or even simpler is writing what I want down,
Okay.
or use my phone to show images. That's it.
I see. Okay. Ba trứng, ba trứng, ba trứng, three egg, three egg. No, no, no. Beef egg, beef egg, beef egg. Okay. All right. Thank you very much for room number five. You just finished your presentation. Thank you very much.
Thầy ơi em thuyết trình thầy ơi.
Nhớ của ai đây? Phi Long hả?
Dạ Phi Long thầy.
Phi Long là nhóm 3 đúng không?
Dạ vâng thầy.
Okay. Share your screens.
Thầy đợi một xíu thầy.
Okay.
Chúng ta cờ quá. Đóng cửa chưa? Nó đóng rồi gì? Đi ăn cơm đi. Hello, teacher and friends. My name is Tufi Long, and we are the Comkinit group. And today we will present about business and general communication. And we hope everyone will listen and be able to absorb some experience through this section.
Okay, guys, just hold on. One second. I had one question. Cho thầy xíu hỏi một cái một vậy thôi. Bạn Thanh Trúc có đó không? Hello Thanh Trúc. Ừ? Thanh Trúc có đó không em? Không nghe Thanh Trúc nói, không nghe gì cả. Thanh Trúc bạn là Trần Thị Thanh Trúc hay là Nguyễn Thị Thanh Trúc?
Dạ thầy
Anh Hoa
ơi,
Trần hay Hoa Nguyễn?
dạ
Trần
chị
Trần Thị Thanh Trúc thầy ơi.
Ok rồi vậy thôi. Ok rồi Trần Thị Thanh Trúc. Ok rồi. Nhưng mà Thanh Trúc không có mở mic được hả? Sao hồi read thuyết trình được Trúc?
Chị đang có một chút việc nên lát quay lại sau đó thầy.
Oh my god. Ok, như vậy là mình thuyết trình đi. Tiếp tục đi.
Hi everyone. My name is Anne and I will present about business and general communication. First, what is communication in present and in business? In business communication and general communication are two methods present of communication.